So, Holly Hilton, that's who I am. Founder of Hilton and Associates, PLC, attorneys and counselors at law. I opened the law firm in February of 2006 with a law partner. Her name is Jennifer McKeever. And my husband is of counsel for the firm, which means that he has a full-time job somewhere else and works for us for free. We named it Hilton McKeever at that time. Our plan was to do general civil practice with an intention of focusing on education law, dealing with special ed issues. But I took a turn into elder law within weeks after my first Aging in Place Business Roundtable meeting. I had been practicing law for 19 years, 10 of those were spent working part-time raising my children. And I had spent 7 years at Legal Aid when my colleague and I, she worked there as well, decided to break out on our own. I had worked on some special education cases with Legal Aid and was really interested in doing them, but they really proved too intensive for a new law firm to handle. However, my knowledge of disability issues was honed during that period of working with families with special education issues. Jennifer and I tried a number of networking avenues early on, of course, the Chamber of Commerce being one of them. And the Aging in Place was meeting at the Chamber conference room at the time. So I went, tried it out, along with the other things that I tried, and by the end of the meeting, I felt like I was home. I have hardly missed a meeting since. My background in writing wills, trusts, powers of attorneys, and medical directives, combined with my passion to serve and bring understanding of the law to my clients, along with God's supernatural touch and direction, have resulted in an on-the-job training program that has brought me untold fulfillment as I partner with my clients in navigating the issues of estate planning, elder, and disability law. About 2 months after we opened our doors, a potential client with an intellectually disabled adult child called and asked if I took guardianship appointment cases. When I told her I was just starting out but very willing, she was happy to work with me. A few weeks later, the Commonwealth of Virginia informed the community service boards that a fund had been established to pay lawyers $750 to represent guardians for incapacitated adults in the necessary court proceedings. That client referred me to Region 10 for their backlog of cases, and I was on my way. My experience in representing guardians of intellectually disabled individuals, of course, is also a benefit to clients whose parents are suffering from dementia and other late life capacity issues. In 2008, Jennifer decided she needed a full-time salary, went to Jones & Green as an associate. I renamed the law firm. My husband continues as of counsel, does provide a lot of assistance, but we work around his job in D.C. in order to do it. I live in Madison, so we go opposite directions. Aging in Place has provided invaluable information that gives me a significant edge in helping my clients to explore options and to determine their personal preferences for care in the event of incapacity, for the passing of their legacies to their loved ones in a way that minimizes estate taxes, probate hassles, and labor for their loved ones. Both the information I glean here and the relationships I have with you all have been a bedrock for me in solidifying my knowledge base and the quality of the service I give my clients. Walt Simpson and I are currently working on a case in Madison where the husband has been in long-term care since 2008. The wife is just trying to manage a life of normal expenses and staying at home so she can spend as much quality time with her husband, who's in the nursing home up there, as she can. That case is a prime example of clients that need legal assistance despite doing their best to plan for their futures when they got married. They're both in a second marriage, both have kids from prior marriages, did a postmarital agreement, did wills, but there was a piece that was missing. That was how their title to their house, how their house was owned, that is causing all kinds of problems with the reverse mortgage. It's not really an oversight of a bad lawyer. It's something that simply takes a tremendous commitment to covering the details and looking at everything in order to prevent those issues later in life. So despite the fact that they did exchange powers of attorney before incapacity set in, they're facing a legal challenge. Okay, I'm finally going to my next slide, and that's, oops, there. Okay, so now I'm going to explain different elements of what I do as an elder law attorney. Estate planning is one of my main ones. And as an estate planning attorney, I consult with clients. I catalog the contents of their estates and determine what they wish to do with their property, both tangible and intangible, during their lives and upon their passing. I analyze the risk of estate tax liability with the caveat that changes in the law cannot be predicted, but there are good choices even with that unknown. I recommend options regarding asset transfers, possible trusts that minimize charges to the estate and maximize the client's goals. Then, of course, I write the necessary documents. I forgot to say, I give my clients undivided attention. I do not skimp on the time needed to bring complete understanding of the concepts. I make sure their choices are well informed and well considered. Then I write the documents. Then make the necessary transfers. As I said, that's what I was referring to regarding the deed. If that is not done, the documents that you write are useless if you don't transfer the assets in at the right time. It is one of the cornerstones of my law practice and I'm not saying I'm infallible, but I do everything I can to cover those. Okay, next thing I do, long-term care planning, which involves working with clients to determine their ability to pay for long-term care in the event of incapacity, a solid working assessing whether they are eligible for veterans benefits, and then passing them off to someone who's certified to do that, Doris being one of them. A working knowledge of Medicaid long-term care eligibility rules, property law, and the impact that transfers of assets have on long-term care benefits. It also includes, advocacy before the Department of Social Services for those clients. Another thing that I do is I take cases appointing guardians and conservators. Conservators are necessary when there is money to deal with. Guardians really only deal with life decisions. For people who have lost their capacity and have not executed powers of attorney, durable powers of attorney, while they are still able to. I've stood up here many times and pressured you all to see an attorney to discuss bringing powers of attorney to prevent the need for someone filing suit to be appointed as your guardian or conservator. If you become unable to manage your affairs, the point bears frequent repetition. In order to execute a power of attorney, you have to have an understanding of the rights and authority you're giving away. So you need to have capacity to do it. So when people come to me and their parent or their spouse is losing capacity, it's too late. I also assist people who are handling the estates of their loved ones that have passed away and need help through the probate process, which is basically the process of transferring the assets that remain in your estate after death. I do other types of civil litigation. Sorry, that was a little fast. And legal counseling, such as partition suits, small business organization, divorce, separation counseling, and landlord-tenant litigation, but those matters are beyond the scope of this spotlight. In closing, I want to share that every client affords me the opportunity to appreciate their accomplishments and their personalities. Many remain in my circle of contacts. I am extremely blessed to have the autonomy to practice law as I have always desired to, and to spend as much time with my clients as I want. We love you.